Welcome to another episode of the PAP Show, your favorite political platform. Well, as all eyes are fixed on the 2027 elections, a great deal of energy and enthusiasm are being deployed to stop President Tinubu's re-election. And to achieve this, a coalition has sprung up with some big names already in it. A new political party linked to the coalition has also emerged. It is called All Democratic Alliance, the ADA, with a clear mission to unseat President Bola Tinubu in 2027. As this new political party is waiting to be fully registered and recognized by INEC, high-ranking members of the ruling APC have been voicing out reactions. For example, former governor of Ebonyi State and now Minister of Works, David Umahi, has said that the coalition against Tinubu lacks credibility. Governor Obasani of Kaduna State has recently said on Channels TV that Asuwaju has no threat and that the coalition does not stand a chance to beat the president. Reacting to the APC officials' reactions, a public affairs analyst, Rabi'u Noura Rabi'u, said this coalition has shaken the whole party and its officials. But Nigerians have questions and doubts. How ready is this coalition to put the country first? How confident are the people behind this coalition that the citizens will believe them and even accept them? And who is going to be the right person to challenge President Tinubu come 2027? I'm your host, Umar Ardo, and I will be back right after this break. Welcome back. Well, for us to get the first-hand account of what's going on both on and under the carpet, I'm joined in the studio by Dr. Umar Ardo, the convener of League of Northern Democrats, a key sponsor of the ADA, and who is now tasked with the responsibility of ensuring that the registration of the party is successful. Well, Dr. Umar Ardo joins me right now in the studio. Thank you so very much for coming on the show despite your heavily tight schedule.
Thank you very much, Umar. I appreciate it. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, there's a lot of things, interesting things we're going to be talking about, and I believe some of the topics, some of the items would be a bit debatable, and I'm sure you're ready for that. You are one of the forces behind this ADA, this new party. How confident are you of a hitch-free and successful registration of this new party?
Okay, thank you very much. I wouldn't want to describe myself as the, what did you call it, please?
The convener?
Your question, you said I am
one of the forces. I said one of the forces, not the whole force.
One of the forces. Okay, yeah, maybe in my very little way.
Okay,
because
you sound too humble.
Yeah, because the coalition was formed, and that we joined our group came and now joined the coalition, and since then we've been making some little contributions. But the coalition, as it is a group of Nigerians that can change the fortune of this country if we put ourselves, to it. And in your introduction, you are saying that the coalition is for the purpose of removing President Tinubu from office. For me, it is not the purpose.
What is it?
It is for the creation of a better Nigeria. And
the one that we're currently living in?
It is a process to create a better Nigeria that can go beyond President Tinubu and create the environment for the people of this country to live in harmony, to live in peace, and to live in prosperity, and to participate in the international arena, on very strong and respectable terms.
Yeah, which means you are not happy with the trajectory that the country is going towards.
Not the trajectory. The Tinubu group is on the ground, so the trajectory is that of the coalition, the ones that want to shape, the future. Tinubu is on the ground. He is the one doing what is, and so we are saying that we really are not satisfied with the way things are being and the way the country is. It is not Tinubu that made this thing. Okay. But it is Tinubu's responsibility as president to resolve it. He doesn't seem to be able to resolve the issue.
But you should give him time.
What time?
He's just 2 years in office.
Please. Let us not have this discussion on issue of time. You should know that a government came into office with very clear ideas, and that these ideas that he has put should be seen to bring more dissimilarities than the current affairs happenings of now, and to bring more discontinuities than what is happening now, so that people will say that certainly.
You sound vague. You sound unclear.
No, I'm not. Maybe you do not say you do not understand.
No, I want the common man, okay, the ordinary person watching us live now, to understand where you are heading to, why you have these issues with the current presidency.
No, I'm just trying to respond to your statement that we should give him time. As if time is the issue. I'm just trying to explain to you that time is not the issue.
Okay, what is
the issue is the approach. Okay. Now, if things are bad, and that you are given the responsibility to fix these cameras and this studio and so on, I've been here for long, and you've been trying to fix the place. Now, if you are put in to fix this studio, and you come into the studio, you have 2 hours to fix this studio. You come into this studio, and that you are touching this and touching that, changing this and changing that, yet the problem has not been fixed after 1 hour or after 1 hour, 30 minutes. The issue actually is not about time. It's about understanding the problem and then putting in the solutions to it. And once the solutions are working, then you will start seeing things working. At the societal level, please, at the societal level, don't cut me, at the societal level, when you put the issue on the ground and you are solving the problem, you will notice that Nigerians will notice that things were difficult before. Oh, now they are getting better. Things were hot there. Now they are getting cooler. Things are expensive before. Now they are getting, cheaper. And so that will show that there are dissimilarities. Okay. There are discontinuities. It is not a continuous heat. It is cooling. It is not a continuous high cost. It is reducing. So when people see that, then people will say that you are on the right trajectory. What you need is time. But when these things are not changing, they rather are getting, bad. You cannot talk about time.
Okay, there's a kind of double standards that some people would put forward as kind of the argument. When President Muhammadu Buhari was in power from 2015 to 2019, there's a lot of talk about him stepping down because things were not going well in the country. But what we had been hearing at that time from politicians, leaders, and so on and so on, give him time. And this is not the same thing we are applying to President Tinubu right now.
Well, I don't know the kind of people you are talking about that are saying give him time. If you have been following, I've been a number one critic of the Buhari administration for 2 reasons. One is personal, we put it aside. And 2 is factual, that things were going bad. So those of us that had some things to now, we were looking for little things to start criticizing, and we saw things going bad, we started criticizing. Why criticize the Buhari regime from the beginning, to its end? So for me personally, I had no double standard in that whatsoever. Maybe others.
Another argument that maybe we can talk about is that in defense of the government, they are saying that we should not blame the people, the citizens should not blame the president. They should go and ask their governors how their revenues are being shared with, are being utilized and so on and so forth. Because ever since he came in and removed the subsidy on fuel, more money has been pumped into the state accounts. So I think when we look at arguments like this one, some people would say the presidency had a case.
How would you think that the presidency had a case? First, your question is about layers. In this case, maybe layers of blame. Now, you first maybe go to your local government chairman first, then, or maybe you are councillor, then you are local government chairman, then you go to your state, then you go to the presidency. You are said, so these are layers of blame. The thing is that the entire system is not working. It's not working for the country. We ought not to be where we are as a nation. At all. We have no business being here. We are here because the political elite that have ruled the country, especially, since, let me, as a historian, let me divide this thing for you. When we got independence in 1960, the incoming, the government that succeeded the Europeans, the colonialists, did a lot. Politics came, it was overthrown, and then we have military regimes. Nigeria is divided, the political history of Nigeria, I will divide it into three segments. The first segment is the first civilian administration and the first set of military administration. The second segment is the second set of civilian administration, and then the second set of military administration. If you are to grade the leadership of these two sects, the first civilian administration and the first set of military administration, the first civilian administration, we know that of Tafawa Balewa up to 1966, and then the second set of military administration is divided into four. That of Abu Ironsi, that took over from the civilians, then the Yakubu Gowon regime that took over from Abu Ironsi, then the Murtala regime that took over, you can say Murtala Obasanjo regime. I think, we should, the Murtala Obasanjo regime that took over, from Gowon. This segment, they laid the foundation for this country. And they were patriotic. They were visionary. They did good for Nigeria.
Okay. So
then they handed over, based on the policies of the last military regime, they handed over to the Second Republic. The drift actually started from the Second Republic.
In 1979?
1979 to 1983, the drift started.
When you say the drift started,
well,
what does that mean?
that is where public morals have gone low, where you see ostentation in public servants and so on. That was what the second set of the military used to now remove it.
Step in.
Yes. So the second set of the military, Buhari, that took over from Shagari, from the civilian, then the Babangida regime, then the Abacha regime, and then the Abdul Salam regime, that then handed over to the third segment, which is the dispensation.
This fourth republic,
handed over
from
to President
1999 today. And in your own history lesson and interpretation and analysis, where some people could say, could deduce that the problem that Nigeria and Nigerians have been facing have come from the politicians like yourself. Would you take responsibility for being part of a group that has done more harm to the country than good?
In what way? Like me, personally?
Would you personally feel bad that you belong to a group of people called politicians that have done more harm to the country than good?
Well, I would be very sad to be in such a group, and I have as a person, have also tried very hard to fight it, not so that things will be okay, so that we do not, the moral fiber of the society does not collapse, so that rule of law, law and order is put in society, so that constitutionalism, is entrenched, and then justice prevails in society. I have done that all my life as a person, but I have not. I have not achieved much in stopping much at all.
Okay.
And because no one person can achieve it, it has to take the entire society.
Okay, and that brings
that is what we've been trying.
That brings us back to the issue of coalition.
Yes.
And how confident are you that yours is going to make a difference? Let me ask you this question: do you expect government to sit down and allow forces like yours to come together and form a new party that will solely that is solely hell bent? Some people could use this phrase on unseating the president.
No, you got it wrong. I explained that to you.
You said it
our objective, personally for me, is not about unseating the president. It's not about that. It's about bringing, a better Nigeria.
Bringing a better Nigeria with or without President.
The president may just be the defeat of the president of the APC is just a collateral event.
You are watering down the situation.
How?
You're watering down the situation. You're playing it down. They're downplaying it. You cannot bring the change that you are claiming to bring without
unseating the president.
Sure,
Thank you. It's okay. That's why I said the president and the regime. No, I said the president and the regime will just be collateral. Damage in it. Because you are making secondary, of course. It's secondary
to the objective. See it as the primary objective.
No, it's not. And we are telling you now. I'm telling you, you cannot impose that. We are telling you that the objective is not principally to remove the president. Our objective is to create a better nation. And because the leadership as it is now is not creating that better nation in the views that we have, then we will now come together and see that we change the leadership, the regime, and then create a regime that will achieve the noble goals that we have in mind. And you are saying in your question that, do you think that the president or the regime will sit by and look at us? And we are a country rooted on the basis of law. If we will follow the law, the president, the government, they are all products of the law. Nobody is above the law. So we will follow this and ensure the law prevails. The biggest problem of our country today is the collapse of the law.
Okay.
That is our biggest problem. So I've gone to court in order to enforce the provisions of the law. Several times the courts are not functioning well. They did not. But all this.
The question right. I didn't mean that the president is going to use force to prevent you from doing that. What I mean is that would you expect them to just sit back and relax and say, and allow them to?
Not that we expect them.
They also must have plans.
They have their
counter any attack against them politically.
They have their plans. They have their operations. They have all this, and we know they are operating it. But we will also have our plans, have our ways, have our operations.
And you have confidence in your plans?
That will supersede their plans.
Do you have confidence in your plans and operations?
Absolutely.
100% confidence?
No, you never get 100%. But I can let you at 99% confident, bismillah ta'ala, to get it done.
Okay, let's talk about what you have on the table, what you have on your plate, and the people, the composition of the people behind this coalition. Who are we expecting to see behind it? Some people think it's an all-northern movement because it's mostly dominated by people like you who are from the north.
No, not at all. You see?
You sound passionate.
Yeah, you see, I went into the coalition. That is the political coalition, because we also have already formed our team the League of Northern Democrats, which we brought, Northerners of stature, of achievements, of good conscience.
People like?
Even the man that recommended me to this program, he is a member of, I believe it is on the basis of that I'm recommended to come here. So we have them. We have professors. We have everything we have the most formidable elite group.
Okay, whose agenda is to save the North?
Whose agenda is to bring out Northern Nigeria into a very strong, economically strong, prosperous, politically, strong, within the context of the Nigerian Federation. So it therefore means that for the North, to achieve this, it has to have the entire country to work, because we are a federation. We have one common law that governs all of us, which is the constitution of the country. We may have our own individual state laws, local government laws, and so on that govern, but the ground norm of the law of the land, covers all of us.
And that's interesting.
So that is why when we saw other members of the country from other parts of the country came together, and when they came together and they formed a political coalition, we now approach them.
Okay.
And we said, let us look, we have this, let us work, we are interested. And besides, everybody who believes that he needs to create a better Nigeria should work with any group that it has confidence that they can achieve the objective. And that is why we are there.
Before we talk about the broader aspect of the coalition, talking about the national part of it, having both people from the North and from the South, do you, let's assume we're still talking about the League of Northern Democrats, are you also of the opinion that the North has been marginalized, segregated?
No, the North has not been marginalized, the North has not been isolated, the North has not been segregated at all. Yeah. It is the North that did not get its act right. And
but the North has been producing leaders.
That is why I'm telling you.
No Northerners have ruled Nigeria.
That is what I'm telling you. I said the North has not gotten its act right. It was not marginalized, it was not segregated, it was not all the others people say, I say, no, it is not. The reason is that we just did not get our act right, and we have to. And that is what, that is also central in the League of Northern Democrats, the formation of League of Northern
And you will apply it in this new political coalition?
Well, they are two distinct things. Okay. In order to achieve this objective, the other objective must be achieved. That is it.
Okay. So, you're going for national without any plan for the North in particular?
I don't know. I don't understand your question.
Okay, your plan now for the ADA is to change Nigeria.
Let me tell you something about ADA.
Okay.
There is a coalition in which all of us are all north, south, east, west, everywhere. And the objective is to create a better Nigeria. To create a better Nigeria, you have to change the regime. And to win election, at the polls, free, fair election, we have to defeat incumbent, fair and square. To do that, there has to be a political party, which is the platform. And to get the political party is either to register one or to join one. And this is where the coalition has some differences. Some said, let us register. Some said, let us join. And then they said, okay, let us do both. So the register, we ran, and they did it, the committees did finish, and then it filed. Because to register, you are time bound. But to join and fuse, you are not time bound. You can join anytime and then take over, and then so long as the party gives you whatever you want. But to register, you are time bound. And that is why those of us who believe in the register finish the work quickly and then got approval from the leadership. Okay, file. So we filed, and when we filed, it went viral.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Most of the people involved in the coalition are people who have been described by their critics as just power hungry and are coming together now after they lost to Tinubu in 2023. How would you respond to this? Because there's this talk of division.
From among the coalition, there are those who lost to Tinubu, and there are those who didn't lose to Tinubu. Okay. There are those who didn't contest election at all. There are those who contested maybe other kinds of election and so on and so forth. So for you to say that the coalition members you describe them in only this one, threat is not fair. There is a coalition of all, of those who lost to Tinubu, of those who did not lose to Tinubu, of those who, this is the coalition, is all. And each and every one is important and critical.
Okay, let's get this right. Have you been registered?
No.
Okay.
We have not. It's a long process. Okay. So that is why you have to start early. We just wrote a letter expressing our interest as an association to be registered. That's all. We have not even gotten a response, say, okay, go ahead, start the process. We did. So we just wrote. But we have time, and we are confident that we will satisfy all the legal requirements, and we are confident that if we satisfy all the legal requirements, that the ANEC leadership, the ANEC will register us, and we are confident in that.
Okay. Are you in touch with powerful politicians like Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, Rabi Musa Kwankwaso, El Rufai from Kaduna, to join your coalition?
No, the coalition is the product of it now. What we are doing, is the product. All of them, except Rabi Kwankwaso, all of them is what they call National Opposition Coalition Group. Okay. It comprises all those that you have named, except Kwankwaso, plus much more. So it is this. It is this group. It is no. But what are you talking about? Agree to join who?
To join the coalition. Okay.
What do you mean? This is the coalition.
Okay.
They are the coalition, and the ADA is their product.
Okay. So this is clearly explained now to the viewers that coalition, that group is okay. ADA is the product of all those things. I am interested in Rabi Musa Kwankwaso not responding to it. Do you have any idea why?
I don't know. I have no idea, and I really do not need to have any idea about that. There are many, other than Rabi Kwankwaso, there are many other politicians that are not part of it now.
Has he been contacted?
I don't know. I never contacted anybody. I was myself contacted, so it was not. It's not my idea. So I don't know. But maybe you can ask Rabi when you see him or ask.
Yeah, we are hoping to host him on the show. But don't you think he is such an important figure that shouldn't be out of the coalition? Shouldn't be out of the party?
If he joins the coalition, I know it will be of huge, importance. It will add a huge value in it. But I can assure you that, if he doesn't, we will still fight to see that we win, in spite of not joining.
You said it's a huge plus.
A huge plus.
Okay. Are you now appealing to him to join?
I would say so, yeah. If he would, he has his own. You see, I don't want to disrupt the political equilibrium of people. I allow them to, but I'll say it if they see reason and they say they do it. So if he thinks it is okay, and I think will be okay for him if he joins.
Okay, before we go on break, I'll ask you this question. We've been talking generally about this coalition, its aims, its missions and purpose, and so on and so forth, and the people behind it, even though you have not mentioned names clearly. what about young people? They would say, are we in or out?
If you look at the manifesto of the ADA, which we submitted to INEC, so if you look at the manifesto, you will see that we have taken to the path of youth as developers of society through innovation in construction, in management, in all facets of building a society. And we have taken the Chinese model of getting the youth, turning them into entrepreneurs and building society by them, taking the advantage of their huge population. The huge population becomes the producers, the consumers, and the service providers. They now create the economic base in society that will absorb poverty and take people out of poverty, large number of people out of poverty in a very short time. Have you wondered how did China, one of the poorest countries in the world, within a period of 30 years, just like from 30 years was 1995, from 1995 to now, they brought out over 800 million people out of poverty, constituting about 70% of poverty reduction across the globe. Did you consider that?
They did not achieve that as a democratic nation.
They are, please. What is democracy? What is democracy?
Would you advocate?
Please,
okay, the West is calling China as an authoritarian regime. Would you advocate for Nigeria to adopt a Chinese model because of its effectiveness? I'm not challenging you. I'm just putting a question to you.
You see, first, you are coming from a wrong premise by describing a system not democratic.
I did not personally describe
it. You described the West.
Yeah.
The West described
how the West describes
let me tell you, please. There are two poles, the West and the East. The West describe their own as liberal democracies. The East describe their own as people's democracy. Every political system describe itself as democratic. We have the king in England. England describes itself as democratic. We have the king in Morocco, although he's royal, but he has a democratic system. He has a parliament and prime ministers. So systems describe themselves as democratic, sometimes for convenience, sometimes for geopolitics. When the West says the East, China is autocratic or authoritarian and so on, does that make sense? Everything that you need to do must serve the purpose of society. Now, we are democratic. Nigeria, are we not? Nigeria is a democracy. Is it
Nigeria a democracy?
Nigeria is a democracy.
Okay.
Nigeria is a democracy because its government fulfills the features of democracy. One, a constitution, whether written or not, the constitution. Two, an election for a terminal election. And three, rule of law. Four, there are 5 or six key base features of democracy. All of them, we have them. But if the system is not working for us, is the system really worth it? Any system that doesn't work for you, is it really worth it? So if the system...
Is that the problem of the system or the people running the system?
For me, I've always maintained the problem of the operators, those who run the system.
Not the system.
Not the system itself.
Despite being highly expensive.
We are operating the same governmental system like the United States, like South Africa, like Zimbabwe, like Ghana, like this, like that, in so many other countries in the world. If that system, despite of the little variances that you have, if it is working for the people, and ours is not working, is it because of the system or is it because of the operators? Obviously, it's because of the operators. So if we can change
the operators,
yes, you see, it's the personal, the strength of a leader counts in getting things work or not work.
And we cannot change the system until we change the mindset of the young people. And now you proposed the idea of the Chinese model, keeping the young people busy, developing, building the nation, while the elderly people keep running the show, calling the shots. Don't you think the young people would say, oh, these people are not giving us what we want. We want a space, we want a seat at the table, and they're not giving us.
Which table? You should be in the factory. You should be in the factory. You should be in the classes. You should be in the banks. You should be managing society. And that the leadership, the elder leadership that that is running the system creates the environment for you to be able to thrive. And you are thriving, and society is building, and society is improving. Until you get to an age where you now also understand everything through your studies, through your experiences, and then living, through that society. And then you will be in a better position to now create a better environment for that society, for the youth of their own time, to also thrive, as they did for you to thrive. That is how society is built.
Young people would like this honest answer from you. Would you provide, from your own coalition, provide a seat at the table for young people?
What kind of seat?
I mean, like a position they want to.
What kind of seat? We are going to give the youth the ability, the opportunity, and the leverage to excel. We will give it to them. That is the responsibility of government, to create that environment for the youth to the merit to take course.
And to be part of the government.
You
say
which part of the government are you talking about?
You've been vaguely
what
saying
are you talking
that
about?
you give them the opportunity to thrive, to develop, to do this and that, to flourish. Yes, but then you are not saying, okay, we're going to allow some of them to run for specific positions.
I asked you which. You didn't answer me.
No. Some of them would want to contest for the presidential seat. Some of them governors. Some of them senators.
No, it's not about permitting. It is about the candidate. If they look at, for example, what happened in Senegal. It wasn't because the elders or the government or somebody permitted the youth to get it done and then take over leadership. It is the sheer personality, vision, and determination on the part of the youth to create that. Nobody gave it to them. They did it by themselves.
Okay.
So when you have the ability to drive things, everybody will allow you to drive it. Because if it is working, everybody wants things to work. The problem is who can make it work.
And I'm sure the youth will keep their fingers crossed. We're going on a short break.
The youth should not keep their fingers crossed. They should strengthen their fingers and work with it.
Okay, let's go on a short break. This conversation is getting heated and very much interesting. Thank you very much indeed, Dr. Umar Ardo, for being on the show. And we'll be back right after this short break.
Take a seat on the Political Advantage platform for real conversations about Nigeria by Nigerians. Follow our live stream across these channels and learn how it all affects you. Every Sunday, you have a chance to stay ahead by staying engaged and informed. Tune in to the Political Advantage platform to share in real conversations that matter to you.
All right, welcome back. This is the Pop Show with me, Umar Ardo, and today my guest tonight is Dr. Umar Ardo, and we've been talking a lot about the coalition that they're forming against the current administration ahead of the 2027 general election. Thank you very much indeed, sir, for sticking around. It's really an honor to have you back. Let's briefly talk about this. Before APC was formed ahead of the 2015 election, taking us back in hindsight, there were highly influential people in it, Buhari from the north and Tinubu from the south, among others. And there was a sort of unity and purpose at that time. Now, can you tell Nigerians how united you are internally and the coalition and the purpose of the movement?
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to, I've said it and I will say it again. The APC, the formation of APC was easier because it was based on just two personalities. On the personality of General Muhammad Buhari, and then on the personality of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Buhari has used to had 12 million votes, 100% of it in the north, or say 99% of it in the north. And then Tinubu has 6 states and 100% of them in the south. So if Buhari and Tinubu will agree to work together, winning the election is assured, isn't it? So it was just a simple thing. Work with Tinubu or go and talk. And so when you put them together and they agree, then Buhari deployed his people, at least Tinubu deployed his own in the 6 states, and then Buhari in the north, and because they saw he has 12 million votes and so many went to him and so on, and then it wasn't difficult to form a structure that would win election. So and that was what happened.
So looking at it now, what's the point?
The only problem,
what's the connection between then and now?
Now, with all humility, this formula that I just told you of, I conceived it. It was my innovation to now get him and then do it. So the difference that we have now is that we do not have, a central agreement or consensus among the critical leaders of the coalition. In that of APC, only 2 people. Once you get the censor of this agreement with these 2 people, the rest was easy. That was what we got. Now you can't get this.
So yours is a little more complicated than that?
Well, it's a little bit more complicated, but you see, the coalition has the personalities and the capacities that if they come together, they will get the same results that the 2 personalities of APC got.
And do you think they
will that is what we are working hard to see it happens.
Do you have confidence that they will drop all, quote unquote, their ego and their lust for power and so on and so forth?
I don't know. We pray that. We are working towards that. Hopefully it will. We don't know. We are praying. But you see, the coalition is such that even if we are unable to surmount this issue, beneath, we'll work towards achieving victory.
Are you optimistic, yes or no?
I am, optimism, 100% I'm optimistic. I am an optimist. So I have a friend who told me that I am an incurable optimist. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Because at the same time, I am also a hypercritic.
So you did not talk about, okay, you did not directly hit the nail on the head when talking about the unity. Are you united inside?
Yeah, we are united that on the basis that things are not working well in the country. We are united on the basis that we need to come together and solve and get things to work for the country. What we are not united is how to do it, but we are doing it. They said, let's take the two approaches in getting it done. One, because it's all on the issue of platform. One, let's fuse into one political party existing. One said, let's form a new one. I've discussed this earlier.
Definitely.
So because of the time factor that affects one and not the other, so we now had to push forth to get the registration process, kick-started.
Definitely, you have confidence, huge confidence in the unity of your people inside the coalition. But there is this quote I'm going to put out to you. Dr. Hakim Baba Ahmed is reported to have said this about your coalition, and I quote, there is division within the coalition. None of these people should lead or be in a position to determine who should be in the coalition. The people attempting to create an alternative to the APC, I'm not sure they are better than the APC. Hearing stuff like this should concern you, must concern you.
No, it doesn't.
What's your response?
It doesn't really concern me because you see, you are making this call within a context in which Dr. Hakim is saying, and you have not even finished it because you will see if you go down where he said that.
But he said he was not consulted.
Yeah?
He was not consulted. He's also said it.
When this thing started, he was in government. He was the advisor to the president.
And that's why you didn't consult him?
You don't consult him because it's the regime that you are trying, to defeat at the polls. So he now came out. By the time he came out, the process has gone very far. But still, if you continue with the court, but he has something very positive that I feel happy about.
That he's going to help you?
No.
Okay. Finally.
I am happy with Dr. Hakim's statement.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is the vision. You're happy.
The division that he is talking about is at the approach level. Okay. Which approach are we going to take? Fuse or register?
Okay. Final question. What party messages do you have for Nigerians as a leader and someone who is committed to seeing things change in the country?
So if the leadership of the coalition have finally resolved and to go in the approach that one single approach, then what I will call on all Nigerians is to come, and support the process of registering a new party and fill in that new party and hoping to get at least, at least not less than say 20, 30 million Nigerians, to join this party before the end of the year. That is our target. And that is what I'm appealing to Nigerians to do. Because actually it is about, creating a renaissance for the country. Changing the way things are going to a different way. So that renaissance is what all of us need, and especially the Nigerian youth who have so long, to live in the country.
Sir, there are speculations going around that there are some mistakes in the documents you have submitted to the INEC.
No, it's not a speculation. It happened.
Okay.
The letter we wrote to INEC with the national chairman is supposed to be Independent National Electoral Commission. Then we said Independent National Commission. But we have rectified it. We wrote to INEC this morning, and they received it and we fixed it. So it was a lexical error, which can happen to any person, and especially with these computers. Sometimes they put words that you don't mean. Sometimes, and if you do not have about 2-3 readers, to look at it, you get this thing. But we have rectified it.
Okay, and it's not going to affect the...
Not at all. We are fixing it.
Okay, Thank you so very much indeed, Dr. Umar Ardo, for being on the show. We really appreciate it, and we hope when next we invite you, we'll be able to come back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, on behalf of everyone that has contributed to the production of the show, I'm Umar Isa, and we're saying goodbye and see you next week.